Thank you very much, Mr. Ratchapoom. I must represent on behalf of the Fresh Wave Film Festival for your generosity for allowing us to compile this short film program. And I also would like to start by confessing that I have a chance to watch your film, your first feature film,
Oh,
Useful Ghost.
yeah.
I didn't go to Cannes, but fortunately, I read something on the internet about the film, and I found it very, very interesting. And also, accidentally, our festival, one of our festival staff was at the Cannes Film Festival, and he asked your film agent to send us a screener.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is very rare, so I was very grateful for that, and I saw the film, but only on the screener.
Okay.
I found it profoundly interesting, and I like it very much. So I started to search for your information and found out that you were a short filmmaker before you make this film.
Yeah.
So anyway, can you? But unfortunately, I cannot find a lot of background materials for you, and so please allow me to please introduce a little bit more about yourself as a short film. I mean, for example, how do you start in the film business, and also what you seem to be, doing a lot of stuff in Thailand in the film industry and the art
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
Um, Hi. So should I say I think I started from like I'm going to I went to film school in Bangkok, Chulalongkorn University. Actually, it's like the film department is part of the faculties of communication art. So I might say I started from there. And then like when I was when I was studying, I felt like I didn't want to work in the film industry
Uh-huh.
because not film industry, but like in film production, because like I found the shooting very tiring and boring. So I thought like, and I kind of like I like doing research. I like watching films and reading. So initially I thought like I oh, I was gonna be like a professor if I could like continue my study. But since like it was quite expensive and our family could not afford it. So the first few years after graduation I was like I I just like accidentally work in like a film festivals in Bangkok and because I didn't like film production, I didn't like shooting. So I initially settled into like writing, script writing, and I took that as like I think it's been my main job, my main income for a decade already. So I started to write for feature, for studio, for TV drama, TV series, and I also write reviews, criticism for magazine when film magazine still existed in Thailand a few years ago. I don't think we have I don't think we have like a print film magazine now in
Uh-huh.
Thailand. Yeah, and then uh and then when I said like I didn't want to work in the film production at all, but after a few years after the graduation, I saw some how to say like I saw some like open call for like there's a short film competitions in Thailand, in the north of Thailand. There had this like NGO that want to promote like short films that concerns about like cultural diversity, multiculturalism, or issue like immigration, refugees, and stuff like that. And then I I I I I didn't know why, but I was attracted to that open call, and I had this idea of that could make like a adequate short film. So I just like make it in very like amateur ways. Like I just call my friend and we did like a very small crew and made this short film. And we submitted to this competition, but we didn't get selected. So it's kind of like a letdown for me. But I also submitted this one to uh Thai Thai Short Film Festival, which is considered to be is held by Thai Film Archive. It's considered to be like the most prestigious short film festivals in Thailand. And the film was selected and it won like a runner-up prize. And because of that, I felt that, oh, there's kind of a way for me. There's a part for me. There's a possibility for me that my short film somehow like some people like it. So because of that winning an award, next year I make another one, which is Manichan, one film literature program.
Mm.
And I think it draws some interest, quite a lot of interest from audience. And I feel like, okay, I I feel like I'm kind of like become like a reliable filmmaker. I don't know, like I think like I can make interesting films at least, some
Mhm.
decent film. So I continue to make Anna and the Prince and another place like it was it was quite semi-popular when it was shown in the festival, Thai Short Film Festival. And later I put it on YouTube and it became like a small viral among I don't know cinephile or even like Thai scholar, like Thai or yeah, scholar who study about Thai history or politics. Like they I don't think it's kind of the film kind of surprised them that there's like a this kind of short film that because like I think for people who not in the circle in the short film circle, like I think the idea of short film might be different, like which is like short films about like romantic comedy or some student film or something like that. So it also drew some interest from wider audiences, but still like a very selected few in the circle. But because of that film, I think my producer that they would later become my producer for my feature. Yeah. Solot and Catalia, like I think they saw the film when I put on YouTube and and they like the film. So one day like Solot I'm not sure when or how, like he came to talk to me if I want to work on a feature or something like that, we could collaborate. But at that time he was like a very well respected senior producer in the Thai film independent scene. And I thought like he was just being nice. So I didn't yeah, I didn't immediately reach out when I had this idea for feature. And then I think about 2017, like Thai Ministry of Culture back then still have like some like a yearly financial support for any filmmaker that that has some project. So they support like uh from the development phase to production as well. So at that time, I think I felt like, oh, I already make a few short films. Maybe I could move up to the feature, maybe. So I just like apply with a treatment, which that project gonna be made into a useful goals. So I got some money from that for development, for script writing. And then I applied this a useful goals to script writing workshops in Singapore Film Festival 2017. And I was selected to be one of the 11 projects that year. And at that time I at that time I think like they asked whether I also had other people attached to the project. So I like look out for producer. And then Soros returned returned and asked like uh he just say like do you remember that I also already told you that like if you have a feature we could collaborate. So I said yes, yeah, and they become on board, Soros and Catalia, yeah, and that's I think that's how I started this feature film journey. Yeah. And Red Agency was after that. Uh, it was because I made I started shooting Red Agency in 2019, but it was later released in 2020 in Locarno Film Festival. But I made that film because because when when we were working on a useful ghost journey, and we apply to a lot of like grants, funding, and workshops and labs, something like that. But I found it very difficult to get into any of that. It's so difficult. And I thought that maybe because like I never made short film that my short films never traveled to outside Thailand before.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I at that time I never imagined myself to be a feature filmmaker. I never imagined myself to be like a film director. And I felt that to have short films shown in like a foreign film festival was quite like so far for me. I never imagined myself doing that. So all my short films, like I just screen it in Thai short film is already good enough for me. So I never tried to submit it to any festival. And then when we were making a feature and we were trying to apply to a lot of grant and funding, like we found that without some without I mean like my portfolio should have looked weak to them because
Mhm.
I never have any film premieres
Right.
anywhere before. Yeah. So so at that time, I thought like, oh, maybe I should make another short film. So I made Red Agency or Tiptoeing on Still Trembling Berlin Wall, and it was selected to be in Locarno, and that kind of helped because after that, I think it's easier for me to get selected for some grant or labs and workshop. Yeah. Mm.
When I was watching the three short films that we are
Yeah.
showing in Hong Kong, of course, my first impression is that you are a just like a useful ghost.
Yeah.
When I watch Useful Ghost, of course, I didn't know who you are. I haven't seen anything that you did.
Mm.
But having watched everything, it occurred to me that your uniqueness is really very, very outstanding in the sense that the subject matters that you're interested in, the style that you display is totally unlike any other short film or even any other filmmaker that I have ever seen, not only in Asia or Southeast Asia or even in the world. And since you started your short film in this unique style, and it became very consistent.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so what I would like to ask is how did you develop this kind of style? I mean, it's not only a combination of various styles, but it's also the subject matters that you touched in these films, although
Yeah.
it's a short film, is so wide and so
Mm, mm,
varied. So
mm,
I was just curious that how did you develop this kind of uniqueness,
mm.
or are you aware of this?
Okay. I think I I'm partially aware of it when I um back when I was a student, film student, like when I have to make a thesis film, a final project. Um, I think at that time, I think at least like film student in my generation, they might be more or less influenced by the success of Apichat Pong film,
Mhm.
and they also like I don't know why, but most of the Thai short film when I was a student, like if they want to be like, if they want to be taken seriously, they tend to be like a slow cinema, like
Mhm.
a very stereotypically art housey
Yes.
static, camera slow, that they might be like in it's whether they're influenced by Apichatpong or Chai Ming Liang or Wong Kar-wai or something like that. And so when I was like when I was younger, when I was a film student, like lots of short films that want to win as an award would look quite like that.
Right.
And at that time I feel like I need to like deviate from that kind of supposed norm. So I thought like and I'm also a cinephile, was a cinephile. So I kind of like I try to pull how to say like I don't know like when I was young I was like a cinephile. I was like I wanted to like pay respect to marginal filmmaker or something like that. That might not be that marginal, like filmmaker like Lau Luis or Rivera. Because like I don't know why, but film student in my generation, like they might have other hero. And for me it's just for me to stand out, I just like want to pay respect to other to some other hero that people might not pay much attention to. So so I don't know, like I like Lau Louis, like I like Vanish Schroeder, I like a lot of I don't know, Jacques Levat and stuff. And and I think young artists copy. I think my friends also copy, and I also copy, but I just copy someone that normally other Thai film student wouldn't copy. So I think that's one of the how to say like one of the approach that I took when I was younger. And I think it's also start from there, maybe. Yeah. And because I just don't want to make another or I don't want to make another like slow film that my how to say compatriot by that time like had been doing. So so I think like I gonna make something like unserious, really silly, mock and try to mock everything possible. Yeah, try to mock everything possible. Try to make a parody of everything, I think. And that's one thing. And about the subject matter, I don't know. I think I'm kind of nerd, like a nerdy student. So I found that I'm also I write reading books and I at the time when I was student, I felt like one of my strength would be like reading. So I just try to combine that kind of thing into um oh and I also like I think like when I was student I discovered like essay film that they try to I think it's very quite unique film by that time like when I first discovered like you it's not documentary but it's non-fiction but it also like it contains a lot of information that might be illuminating or eye-opening for viewers and I found that very I and I think like I was impressed by that kind of film but I don't want to make like a totally essayistic non-fictional. I still want to keep I think I like working with actors. So I try to find a combination that you could be essayistic and you also like have to direct actors. And also I had this kind of I have this kind of like sense of humor and I how to say in English flippant, like I try to make fun of a lot of things. So it's kind of mixed together in a way. I want a film to have some intellectualism into this film, but I don't want it to be too serious because I also watch many video arts that so dedicated to be essayistic that it doesn't have any humor and I kind of bore by it. So I think yeah, I think like part of how I develop my style is when I watch other people's work and I always like has a response like whether I like it or dislike it and I try to keep what I like and disregard what I dislike about other people's work. Yeah, so I want them to have like a some like look very academic but very silly. Yeah. I think like I like to put incompatible things together like and see what is gonna turn out. I think it's more exciting than like how to say like if you make like a it's like if you make a film about the serious topic and you make in the convention of serious drama, I think it's boring. Or you make a comedy film about like a like subject, it's also not that interesting to me. So I think like I want to mix that. I want to talk about some serious issue, but in a very silly, ridiculous way. I think that's more exciting. That's more interesting for me as a filmmaker. Yeah.
So, for example, for the first two or three short films
Yeah.
that you made in Thailand,
Mm.
how was the audience reaction, particularly with maybe audience of your generation?
Um, I think they like it. At least they like them. They like short film. Like they found the film to be very funny, hilarious, and also like they thought. I think some of them thought that I wasn't a filmmaker. I wasn't a film student, but more like a political science or liberal arts, that kind of thing. And I kind of like that it kind of surprised because like I think people have perception that if you're a film student and when you make film, it's gonna be
It
like a
must
film
be
with
like a film.
yeah, like a film, like a movie, like all this like boy meets girl or
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
hitman, gunman,
Right, right,
gangster
right,
or something like that. Yeah, it should look like a movie,
right.
but this short film like look remotely like a movie. I think yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, you have thought about your sense of humor, your idea of I think trying to subvert
Mm.
almost everything, and but does it come from your education or from because you are of Chinese origin, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, because one thing which is particularly outstanding in your films is um, the the search for some kind of an identity, whether
Mm,
it's a national identity or whether it's a gender identity of your
mm,
characters in the film.
mm.
So let's talk about first the national identity,
Yeah.
because you also talk a lot about history, not only
Mm,
Thai history, but also Thai history in the context of international history
mm,
or
mm.
Western influences. So this kind of very wide perspective,
Mm.
um, does it originate from your days of college or out of your own interest or whatever?
I think maybe it's a mixture of that. I think like from because when I was in the college, I was exposed to a lot of like ideas, books, films, library, and I also I I brought myself to study some class that I was interested in, and I think it's accumulative. I would say that yeah, maybe I don't know, like maybe about sexuality that I try to question myself about when I was young, and then it's
Mhm.
kind of like try to understand myself, like how should I fit in society, and then it expand to like a national identity. I don't know because in Thailand is a country that I don't know why, but maybe also like the political turmoil when I was student as well. It was in like 2006. By that time, like there's like a coup, military coup,
Yeah.
and it's kind of changed and unchanged the country by that time.
Right.
And I was like, I think like it was the first coup that I was conscious of. There was another coup when I was like 5 or 6, and I wasn't like I yeah, I was so young that I didn't know like what it was like to live in the country that was like undemocratic or something like that. Yeah. So so I tried to read a lot by that time, and I found that a lot of stuff that that they had been teaching me in school, in my primary or high school. Like maybe it's just they just repeat the myth of country, the national myth or something like that. For example, like the status of uncolonized country of Thailand that I was like so interested in. Because like I think Thailand is a country that's so proud of itself being uncolonized by any Western powers. And if you look into like any Thai Thai guidebook or Thai introductions of Thailand, they will mention it within like first five passages. Like Thailand is the only country in Southeast Asia that is not colony. And there's like but there's a lot of like uh scholarly work that try to count that try to subvert that, dismantle that myth. And I was when I first read about it, I was so excited about how how I've been how they had been, I don't want to say like full of deceit, but how I've been misled to think otherwise, something like that. Yeah. I think it's very interesting that I want to turn this book into like an entertainment or something. I don't know why. Yeah, like so I think like I could make a film based on that idea. Yeah. Mm.
Were you a radical when you're a student,
Oh, I
or
don't know.
an activist or something?
No. I think by that time, like people move. I think by that time, it's not only. I think things get very quite radical and violent after I graduated. I think in at least in Bangkok, 2009, 2010, like there's a lot of like violent crash between protester and government. But still by that time, I still like feel like not so active. I would say, yeah, I was like a observer in my own country. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Um, Another thing, of course, is the ghost element in your film.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that after all, Thailand cinema is very famous for its ghost film tradition, and
Mm.
also this idea is also very prominent in Thai culture.
Mm.
Um, so, what is your own opinion about this tradition, and especially about ghosts? Because the ghosts in your films are again totally different from most other films, in the
Mm.
sense that it's not only untraditional, in the sense that your ghost never appear to be very monstrous or very ugly.
Mm.
Um, uh,
Yeah.
Rather, it's very ordinary, and also it, it can possess not only human but also on subject matters, on subjects.
Mm.
So I wonder again, what do you think about this
Mm.
tradition and its influence on on both yourself and on your films?
Yeah. I think I'm fascinated by ghosts as a figure, like a literary figure or literary device that we can use ghosts to explore all the issue, because ghosts somehow like overlap between past and the present. Someone who should be in the past, but they remain into the present. So ghosts somehow like coexist in these two time, I
Mm.
would say. So um I think like lots of Thai filmmaker who makes horror film, like they are interested in ghosts more like a terrifying, scary figure. But for me, I like it as more like a device to explore some thematic issue about like how the past still influence or affect the present. Yeah, and because I think in Thailand there's a lot of unresolved past or something like that. So ghosts would be prevalent in Thai culture, Thai society. And as you say, like how it influenced me, the traditions of ghosts. I think like I'm because there's so many ghost story. There's actually like really like people talks about ghosts lots of time in Thailand, and like and there's like a daily radio show that normally taxi driver will listen to uh half like one after midnight. Like they normally like listen to like ghost radio show, so it's quite common. It's very common. But I think like I'm kind of like tired of how people use ghosts in film. Like they tend to make ghosts scary or monstrous, as you say. And I think like I'm interested like in how like if ghosts stop being scary, what ghosts would could not could do like if they're not frightening, if they're not scary, what they would do. So I think like that's part of the idea that I want to explore in my own film. Like if ghosts stop being scary, like what would they do? What would they how would they behave with other human beings? Something like that. Yeah.
Have you had any ghostly experience?
No, thank God. I don't have the sense. I don't know. I like some of my friends or acquaintances, like they claim that they have the sense. So people who claim that they would normally like see strange figure when they enter new places. Like I was working in my office and there's this one intern. She said like, oh, there's a this this lady wearing white shirt standing outside the window. I was like, what? I was like, what?
Uh-huh.
So I don't have that. I also like why shooting a useful ghost? Like some of my crew, like they encounter a ghost in a hotel,
Uh-huh.
which I had no problem with. I slept soundly. I didn't I didn't meet anything, but they claim that like they woke up at night and saw a boy standing at the end of their bed. It was like, wow, that's scary. But I didn't have any sense. Yeah.
Mhm. Um, and then the other elements which is very consistent in your film is of course issues about gender.
Yeah.
And even in the presentation of this issue, again, your film is so different from the others in the sense that, of course, we are all agreeing, or we're all saying that gender is now, being considered as mobile. Uh,
Mm,
but then in your film is I think it's quite a true representation of that concept
mm.
in it seems like a universe of gender rather than just being categorized into different preferences. So
Yeah.
again, I wonder how you came to develop this kind of concept, or this idea.
Um,
Since the time you were growing up, since the time you were in your high school, in your
uh,
adolescence or whatever.
I think in my generation, like growing up queer still considered troublesome. Like it's not, I'm not sure about kids this day, if they had like a better time or easier time growing up, like knowing what they are. But for
Mm.
me, it was quite a struggle as well. So I think maybe that kind of explain how I lean into academic world just to find some justification of what I am. Like, oh, this is normal, or this is like how how gender is made or unmade, like how sexuality is made or unmade, something like that. And but strangely, when I start making short film after the graduation, like gender wasn't. I think it wasn't it wasn't one of my topic that I want to directly discuss about, but I'll play with them in my short film just to for the surprise effect or something like that 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 audience might not expect uh how character should behave or something like that. But I think one of the thing that I am conscious would be like I want to expand how queer narrative could be, because in Thailand, like one of the song that is so popular with young audience nowadays is like BL, boys love and girls love. But BL, like, so there's a lot of like uh there's a lot of like beautiful couple, like couple of beautiful boys in medias, in advertisement. Like nowadays, like all the advertisements, like all the brand ambassador mostly they are BL couples. And I think it's a good and bad thing in itself. I feel like the presence of these BL couples in media somehow help normalize the normalize the same sex love or something like that. But somehow like it's also limiting because like only beautiful couple could be represented or put into the media. And also I feel like when people gonna make queer film or LGBT any content, like it's always gonna be like romantic comedy or romantic drama. And I found it quite, how to say, like disappointing that queer characters could not do anything else except falling in love or coming out.
Right.
And why all the straight boys and girls could do some fun stuff like a political thriller or action. And I always like looking forward to someone to make like an action with queer characters and doesn't make the big deals about being queer or being gay or LGBT or stuff. So I think in my works, in my short film, on my feature, it's not about boy meets boy or girl meets girl, but it's about something else. But this character happened to be queer,
Right.
so they could do something else apart from being in the conventions of romantic drama or comedy or coming out story. They could be like in a satire or in a useful cause. Like it's not like a romantic drama that it's not, but but there's a queer character that doing stuff. Yeah, I think so.
When you're making your short films, particularly also a useful goals, are you very conscious of the fact that, like what you have just hinted earlier, you're although you are making a film which will be definitely distributed in the mainstream theaters,
Mm,
and
mm.
also because you are using a very famous actress, a very popular
Oh
actress.
yeah.
But what in fact is your subject matter, your style is so unusual, so
Mm,
non-mainstream.
mm.
Are you aware of that? And also, how do you compromise that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm aware of that. I think that's one of my main, how I say, um I also kind of like analyze myself. I try to define the method, the approach that I use in my film, and I would call it like I feel like my films are audience friendly without being mainstream. Like how to say, like as I said earlier, like I try to stray away from slow cinema or stereotypical art house film. I mean, as a viewer, I enjoy watching them a lot. But as a filmmaker, I don't wanna make another just slow film. Yeah. But I enjoy watching them as a viewer. So when I make my own film, I try to think like it could be I I want my film to be a little bit more enjoyable or entertaining, but I don't want to follow conventions. Like if you because I also work in TV before, so I kind of know like how mainstream content, mainstream TV drama, mainstream film should look like, what kind of convention that it should follow. And I remember like when I work in the with the station in a meeting with the clients, I found the experience so suffocating in a way, like that you need to follow certain rules and conventions all the time. So when I make my own film, like I feel like I still want to engage audience emotionally, entertain them, but I don't want to have like conventions or rule. So that's why I always say like it's so audience friendly. So it's kind of like it's still enjoyable, but it's not in the normal way. So it's not like in a conventional mainstream way. So I felt like the film still, I don't know, it's also different from other Thai independent film yeah, in a way. But it also not like a mainstream Thai film as well. So I think I try to carve out a space for me for my own film in like a new and fresh way to make a film, I think. Yeah. To talk about, as I said earlier, like serious issue, but in an enjoyable, joyful, entertaining way. Yeah.
Has a useful ghost been distributed in Thailand?
Yeah. It was released late August already. Yeah. So I think
How
it's
was it
been
received commercially?
commercially it wasn't that great. It was doing okay for art house film,
Okay.
but I found that feedback from audience were mostly positive, quite very positive. It was better than I expected. I kind of expected that many people will have trouble with the film, both content with both contents and style. I was worried that they might not like the film that is too obscure or vague, and some might not like the political aspects of the film. But what I found, at least on the internet, they they were mostly very positive. They were quite surprised, I think, because I think in Thai cinema we don't have luxury of talking about politics so straightforward,
Right.
so bluntly, so directly. And yeah, there's some criticism as well that's saying like, oh, the film is too, too explicit politically, too overt or something like that. But I felt like it's kind of like I think it's one of my like commitment as a filmmaker, as a Thai filmmaker, to to push the boundary of how we could speak about politics.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure about other countries. Like if you compare to American cinema, like my film would be considered like very vague or obscure because
Mhm.
they could speak about politics so directly. They could make a film based on some real actual incident, which is something that unheard of in Thailand. You could not make like I don't think it's very difficult in Thailand to make a film based on a real event because like oh if the real event there's a real person, real people, and you need to I don't know like you need to care a lot about real persons
Mhm.
like how their family would feel and to the point that it's become so paralyzing that you cannot make anything. So 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 yeah, I think like one of the compliments that I read about would be like they they were impressed like how the film could talk about politics so courageously. I think so for at least for Thai audience. Yeah.
Did it meet any censorship problem?
No,
No.
no, we got 18 plus rating, and actually when me and my producer we were worried most in the monk scene. The
Mhm.
monk, yeah, because like it's kind of I think because like about the political issue is more ambiguous and up to interpretation. But the monk scene saying C word, saying like and vocally like the monk scene, which is like monk behave very rudely in the film. We were worried.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, blasphemous, and we were worried the committee would have problem with that. But um but they did not. And I think like Thai government also want to how to say like open up and and they intentionally don't want to ban any film. So yeah.
And
So
also,
yeah, we don't have problem. Hmm.
and also now that it's been selected by Thailand to be
Hmm.
competing in the
Yeah.
Oscars first run. Uh,
Hmm.
so it seems to be, you seems to be starting on a very edgy level, and then now it becomes official.
Yeah. Yeah.
Becomes although not very mainstream, but still it's official. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
I never expected
You're
myself.
being subverted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start from subversion, but you're being subverted now.
Yeah. I become official representative of Thailand now.
Right.
I never expected myself to receive this kind of honor, would say, and
Uh-huh.
it's kind of also stressful in a way, but I don't know. I think some other people, some other non-Thai, when they saw the film, they also like some of them might be shocked as well that this is a Thai representative for Oscar
Right.
race. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because it's so weird. It's so weird that you're gonna shoot this film for to represent you, but I don't know. Maybe because like I think one of the main reasons would be that the profiles of the film that it was screened at Cannes, Critics Week, and it won a prize there. So internationally, it's already the most internationally recognized film, Thai films of the year. So that might be the main reasons why they selected the film. But yeah, I'm honored and delighted to
Uh,
to be that. But also, I don't know. Yeah, some people might not be happy with that. Also, like why you select this film? Like it's how do you say, like it's a disrespect to Thai culture. Yeah,
uh-huh.
I
Right.
heard that. I heard that also. I heard that criticism as well. But I don't know. Yeah.
Has the film been presented in the United States, anywhere in the
Um.
festivals or anywhere?
We have North American premiere at Toronto
Mhm.
last 2 weeks, and it was recently screened in like a fantastic film festival in Texas. And later this month, I gonna travel with the film to Chicago Film Festival and AFI in LA.
Mhm.
So let's see how audience will receive. Like, but I think it's okay now from what I heard. Like in Toronto, it's like it's okay. It's
Mhm.
sold out, but lots of films were sold out. But I think like the reception was quite quite present. Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay. So are you preparing for anything new?
I mean the new project or
Yeah, new
yeah
project.
yeah. Actually, I already have like four films in my head because I try to plan ahead a lot because I don't know like because it took me so long to make this one. It took me 8 years from having an idea to premiere. So I recall myself walking into the set on my first shooting day. I told myself that, oh, how long it took me until this day. How long it took me. And how
Why
can
did it take so long?
um I think because I think two main parts that it took so long was writing a screenplay and financing. Writing a screenplay was long because my main job was writing for TV,
Mm.
and this is like a personal passion project. So I had to like divide the time.
Mm.
So, but I somehow I always prioritize my main job because I need to eat. So
Mm.
so it's always like if you work for TV drama, it's like every week you need to finish an episode. So
Right.
like I barely had time for my own project. So it was really difficult. My producer kept asking me like when I'm gonna hand in the first draft. And I had no time at all. Yeah, I was so disappointed with myself. And it's not, it wasn't only until 2020 that I finished first draft. And that was because it was COVID year. And because of that, like I had more free time to
Uh-huh.
work on my own project. So yeah, if I have more time or if I didn't need to work, if I had money and didn't need to work on other people's project, it
Right.
might just like it might be a year instead of 3 years having a first draft. And after we got a first draft, financing also difficult because like at that time when we started financing, like Thai government didn't have any support for local filmmaker. And it was difficult if you don't have any local budget. Like if you don't have local money yet, it was difficult for you to apply or ask for other people's money to put in. Yeah. So that also took a while. But I think the good side would be like we have more creative control of the film. Yeah. Because we got money from like French CNC, German World Cinema Fund, Singaporean IMDA. So it they were like small soft money, and we got, I don't know, 60% of soft money that we didn't need to return to the investor, and we just got Thai private investor came into kind of last minute, like, oh, we're gonna start shooting the film in 2 months, and we still like have some 30% gap. So Thai investor came in just that. And because of like small percentage of their investment, uh, so they could not intervene in the creative process because they put in little money. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I think that's the reasons why it took so long. It's about more about money issue, I think. Yeah.
So that's why you want to make films faster.
Yeah, I want to make a film faster. So I started to have like idea that I wanted idea for my next film. So initially I thought like I could write a screenplay when I was traveling with the film. But after a few months I found it very hard to stay concentrated. Yeah. Yeah. But I already had an idea about what my second film would be. It's I want to make an adventure film. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How was the translation from making a short film to a feature film?
Um,
Was it difficult for you, or what's the biggest difficulty?
I think it was scary, daunting, intimidating. Yeah, I would say. I think when I was making my short films, I kind of during the pre-production, I would have like I could see the whole film when
Mhm.
I during the pre-production. I could see the whole film. I could see what the next shot would be, how it's gonna be edited or something like that. Or there's a few or small deviation from what I had in mind when I finish the short film, a short film. But with feature, I don't think any human have capacity to envision the whole film before the shooting. And when I was shooting, I still like I I I was still not sure what I was doing. I kept asking my team because they had more experience, like uh, how other directors know whether the film gonna turn out good or bad after the shooting, and everyone will say like, oh, they don't know.
Uh,
So with feature, I feel like director's job is so instinctual. Like you really could not. I think you cannot be analytical about the film. Like yeah, like for example, in a useful goals, like I people would say like, oh, it's mostly deadpan acting. Characters, most of them are expressionless, but actually some characters like behave more realistically, like behave more like a human, like Marsh, the main guy, and actually like they don't. I mean like each actor doesn't use the same method of acting. They have different acting choice, and that they also criticism about that. Oh, they don't use the same method, and and it was intentional that I found during rehearsal that okay, uh, Mars should behave more humanly, realistically. Why Nat and Suman should behave more like a have more like a deadpan performance. And but if you ask me why, I don't know why. It just instinctual for me that it should be that way. It should not be like a it should not be like every every actors, every characters in the film to have the same method or same school of acting together. And I don't know why, it's just instinctual. It's just my gut just told me that it should be like this. And I think like for making a feature, it's on the everyday basis, like on every shooting day, it's kind of like that. Somehow you I don't know, like you just I think it's space that is somehow fit together in the editing room. But most of the time, I really don't know like what's it's like which point are which point are we in the story? How how it's gonna fit with the other sequences when it's edited. I I mostly have no clue when I was making a feature. Yeah.
But you have a very detailed script, or are you improvising a lot?
Oh, I tend to stick with the script because I don't know. I don't want to improvise on set because like I don't know, like I think like uh I think I was afraid that I was afraid that it might turn out bad or it might not work. Also, I try to stick with what we prepare before the shooting, just for the safety's sake, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I think I mean time's up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So so you're coming to Hong Kong in
Um,
next weeks or something.
no, it kind of crashed. I really wanted to, but I was I need to be in Taipei with another project.
I see.
So it's kind of crash schedule, but I really want to be in Hong Kong. Yeah, too bad. Yeah.
Okay. So my best wishes for all your new films and also for your competition in the Asian Film Festival in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very
And
nice.
thank you for the conversation as well. It's so thoughtful. Yeah, it's very thoughtful. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's hope that we can meet very soon.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay,
Thank you so
bye-bye.
much. Bye bye.